Okay, thanks again for staying with us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio as we begin our conversations in the build-up to the 2024 Edo State governorship election. First in the series of conversations we're going to be having. But today, we're looking at the challenge of a paradigm shift. Today, Nigeria's economy is in a parlous state. You recall that before the previous administration came to a close, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. And right now, things are not rosy with the economy, with the fuel price skyrocketing and the inflation at rooftop, prices of commodities, all-time high. In fact, in all the indices of development, you can just see where we are. So whoever has positioned himself or herself to take up a leadership position must bring something fresh to the table. I've got my friend now joining us, Reverend David Ogolo, Executive Director, African Network for Environment and Economic Justice, with specialty in economic transparency, accountability, anti-corruption. The list is ended. Reverend Ogolo, thank you for joining us on the program. Okay, so what to you, the challenges that we have are opportunities for us to change the narratives. What are your thoughts as relates to the quest for the next leadership change in 2024 as far as Edo State is concerned?
Well, first I want to thank you and thank ITV. I really need to thank ITV for this opportunity, making it possible for issues, because take media away, it's difficult for you to tackle the challenge of dealing with democracy and dealing with the issue of how the people govern themselves. So in the journey to 2024, what are the issues that really will bother on the people? Is they have to be extremely careful and to be conscious not to allow the political elite to mislead them. It's easier to assume that when the political elite, because they have a control on the media, they have a control on using what we call the people's resources to compromise them, and because of the level of poverty in the land, it's difficult for people to be independent. When I mean poverty, you don't necessarily have, there are people who are very rich but they are poor, because when you are not able to know why you take your decision, because you take your decision on the basis of the patronage you receive, it becomes difficult for people to trust you. Now, what will be the real objective in who becomes the governor in 2024? It has nothing to do with where you come from. It has nothing to do with how you emerge through this elite. There are two people that are in the struggle to the journey for 2024. The elite and the poor. The elite are few, they are less than 1%. And they cut across the tribes and they cut across the regions. These elites that control Edo State politics, they cut across the political party. They are either from PDP, they are from APC, they are from ABGA, they are from Labour, they are cut across. They are friends, don't be deceived. When you hear they are in PDP or they are in APC, don't ever be deceived. They are the same. But the common people of Edo State, which I will say 99%, the very poor, who are supposed to be the principal to dictate who becomes governor, because of poverty and because of the situation they have placed with them, and because of lack of information, they are not able to use their power to decide who becomes in power. So what is our responsibility? On the basis of this, that's why I commend ITV for giving us the opportunity, because if it was resources, we won't have this platform to articulate some of these positions. So what will decide the factor? The factor is what has happened in Nigeria. No matter whatever you want to say in Nigeria today, we have not seen that money is not everything. We have not seen that the people's power can prevail and it can change the dynamics. And culture is a major responsibility for poverty. The way people think. You know, when the elite, they use religion, they are able to say that that man is a Muslim, that man is a Christian. They use that to create division. They use, oh, I am from Ovia Southwest, I am from Edo North, I am from Auchi, I am from this. the elite are deceitful. Don't ever be deceived. The criteria to be able to become governor, to govern Edo State well, must be a function of your history. History is very important. If you recall, Duke, when we were in Ekoma those days, you never just rise up to become a student union government to represent the student. People will normally remind you that, what is your history?
What's your pedigree?
Where are you coming from? You can't just wake up and say you want to represent student. But today, for you to become a governor, for you to become a president, you have to be an apprentice to an existing governor. You have to be an apprentice to an existing senator for you. And you can see where it has landed us. And power has now become hereditary. And countries where power is hereditary, you know where they belong in poverty scale. In the poverty landscape in the world today, where merit is not giving substance, where meritocracy is not giving a priority, the country will never develop. So if Edo State want to join states that will develop in the future, they should never allow the elite to deceive them. They should allow the people to decide, irrespective where they come from. Somebody will say that if my person comes from my region and becomes the governor of Edo State, and that will make amenities to flow to us. My brother, just look back again and let's reflect on history. Look how the amenities flows in the states and see and relate it to the individuals. Most cases, almost 80% of the resources go to private pocket of the elites. It doesn't go to infrastructure. But if you vote in somebody that is competently qualified, that has the mandate of the people, because that's one thing you must understand. If you get to the Sadebe Avenue on the basis of the elite, you must respond to the elite. When you don't respond to the elite, you will be brought down. But if you go to Osadebe on the basis of the power of the people, you will represent and reflect the people. And that's why we must communicate the language to the people and begin to mobilize and begin to raise the consciousness of the people to allow them know, don't be deceived by this elite, that it must come from north, it must come from south. I am not from Edo State, but I was raised up in Igobazua. I am not sure that somebody who is an Igobazua person is more Igobazua than I do. My contribution to Igobazua, I can't see an Igobazua person and tell me that he's more qualified to be an Igobazua person. Okay. And so it doesn't matter where you come from. Okay. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. Are you qualified? That's the question. The language that we must be communicating out, it must be based on meritocracy.
All right, thank you very much. Bishop Osadoloche, I had engineer Mike Osho, respond to the issue of the current economic realities, and Reverend Ogola talked about the poverty landscape in the world where Nigeria is currently. What's your take on that as it relates to Edo 2024, particularly for those who are reasoning, are considering themselves, lining up themselves in position to take over in 2024?
You see, before we started, I told you there was no hold up why I was coming, because of the cost of petroleum product. I was in EBS last Wednesday. And when they called me, I told the moderator, I don't think I can come because of cost of fuel. So she pleaded, I just have to manage and go. And if I cannot buy fuel, what do you think of the downtrodden? How do they survive? How do they live? The government is proposing 8,000 naira, they call the poor of the poor. Where is the house, the address of the poor in Nigeria? The same elite will go about, compile their list from their friend, cronies, and they say they have given money to the poor of the poor. And if it is true that they know the name and the addresses of the poor, what will 8,000 naira do for a family man that is poor in a month? So they have not gotten it right. And for 2024, like I keep saying, let the political class go and have a self-examination. What is going to be the ideology? What is going to be our manifesto? What are we going to tell the people we are going to do differently if we become governor of Edo State? Because the issue of telling me when you win, you will grade my road, you will print a transformer, and you will give my children an exercise book, that era should be jettisoned. It should be a thing of the past. Because today, we are looking at technology. We are looking at how the world is moving. And Nigeria should be moving along that same line. That today the whole federal rules in Nigeria is a death trap. All federal rules. All federal rules. And in the state too, it's even worse off. So they don't have plan. And let anybody aspiring to become governor in Edo State sit down now and begin to articulate what they know they can do differently that the people will need.
Okay.
Otherwise, nobody will cast vote for such persons.
All right, we'll continue with our conversation. Engineer Mike, quickly talk to us about this seeming disparity between the party's manifesto and the individual's manifesto that is prevalent in our political space. That seems to be a challenge.
Yes, of course, it will be is a challenge in the sense that I think most aspirants forget to do what they need to do, which is, first of all, go and look at your party manifesto. Because the individual is supposed to subscribe to his party's manifesto. If you get to power without understanding your party's manifesto, if the functionaries in that party are very firm on the application of the party's manifesto, the beginning of the crisis of governance has just been planted. So every aspirant, first of all, needs to go back and look at your party manifesto, understand the party manifesto, and also participate using the electricity of electioneering. Electioneering has a lot of energy with it. A good leader or an aspirant must understand how to tap into the energy of election. Use that energy to, first of all, strengthen the party. How do you strengthen the party? For you to aspire, like in Edo State, to be the governor of Edo State, you yourself must have that high intellectual power. You must be an encyclopedic embodiment of knowledge. You must understand the anatomy of society. That society is organic and not inorganic. And that society is not mechanical. The fact that society is organic means society is dynamic. So for you to aspire to lead society, you have to understand this anatomy, you have to understand the physiology. What do we mean by that? How do the different organs and parts of society interact to have an equilibrium that can sustain development in that society? And let me take the word from Reverend Ogolo. That is the culture. The people's culture is very important. Okay. So for you to aspire to lead in any society, first of all, you must distinguish yourself with a history of having integrity. You must have antecedents that are verifiable. And then you understand the vision of your political party and assist that political party to conscientize the members of that political party on the vision of the political party in improving the lives of the people. Until then, you are not an aspirant.
Let me proceed there and bring Reverend David Ogolo in here. I've heard people talk about the fact that considering the current economic realities, this is the worst time for anyone to aspire to lead aspire to go into any leadership position, especially at the executive level. What are your thoughts?
As a matter of fact, this crisis is an opportunity. I have lived a life. Every crisis that comes before me is an opportunity. I don't see every countries around the world. I can assure you, after the war in Ukraine, just give Ukraine just 1 or 2 years, the place will be transformed. Look, Israel is faced with crisis, conflict, but Israel is the most developed country in the world around that region. So crisis, conflict provides opportunity. It makes you think well. It makes you look very well. You can see what wealth has cost Nigeria. Today, Nigeria classically is a reference as a resource cost country. In political economy, what they refer to resource cost is country where you have a blessing. Natural resources, blessing. We have oil, we have gold, we have everything, but today look where we are. We are cost. Now, we cannot even produce fuel. My mother, before he died, he goes to the farm, root cassava. She will process it into 3 products before selling it. Nigeria as a country, we will take crude oil here. We will take it to the US, sometimes take it to Senegal, and then refine it in Senegal and bring it back again. Are we cost? So when you elect leaders who lives on rent, I always say it, I've been saying it more than 15 years ago. There are people that are traditionally, they live on rent. When you elect people who live on rent, who have no history, that's the consequence. So my take is that as Edo moves to 2024, we must all build consensus around who do we want to be the governor of Edo State. Okay. We should not allow the individual, we should not allow these political parties, PDP, APC, Labour Party, no.
All right, good morning.
The credibility of
good
that
morning,
individual.
caller. What's your name? Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
This is USA on the line.
Yes, USA, please go ahead. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Those gentlemen in the studio there.
Thank you.
My brother, there is one thing that every Nigerian is missing. 3 things are responsible for the destruction of our country. Number 1, we went to school not knowing that education is simply innovation. You need to drive human development. That is number 1. 2, we got our independence without understanding what they gave us. When you are independent, you have liberty to live your life the way you want. That is what we are doing. We are busy comparing right from left to right. Number 3, democracy. I can tell you, my dear, we've not got to the meaning of democracy. I give you an example. If a child in primary school in Africa could give just few cents to Obama. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
All right. If a child in primary school could give some cents to Obama, telling Obama that when you are there, make America great. You can imagine that. But in Nigeria, a typical politician will tell you, I'll go there and make my money, send my children to Canada, people pray, I can be better than my neighbor. When you have a situation like this, how are you getting the illusion we can ever move forward? Yeah. When you understand democracy, you are talking of civilized political behavior. From that political civilized behavior, you will see the need to fix your country and make it great. You will not, in fact, you will be embarrassed. Sending crude oil abroad to be refined when we have our refineries. You will be thinking of how to convert the natural resources in our environment to make this country great.
All right, thank you, USA, for your contribution. 080 77770300. That's the studio number. Please dial it right now and be brief because others are waiting. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling?
Good morning, Mr. Chief. This is Mr. Godfrey. I'm calling from Tradesfair.
Okay, Mr. Godfrey, please go ahead.
Yes, please. I just want to point out something. We have said a lot, and we have been talking. People have been hearing us. I think it's high time people like Ogolo and the rest of them to help us champion in cause. There are persons in the society that will be interested to see how to support so that we'll have a better and a clearer voice in the society. We can't keep on coming to the studio and just keep on talking because we have been talking. The effect seems not to be felt in the society. So we have recognized their intensity and their personality. If we could take a stand to say these are persons in the society we can trust, help us, we will support you. financially, morally, to help us with channel a course in the direction in which particularly those states could go.
Okay.
We will do it.
Thank you. Well, just to let you know that if we weren't talking,
exactly,
just imagine how the country would have been. So we'll keep talking until that which we desire manifests, comes into reality. All right. And what we're doing is part of the engagement to conscientize the people, even the elites and the downtrodden or the poor or the masses needs to see a better Nigeria that will be better for all of us. The elites, I can tell you, some of them are not happy because as the economy bites harder, they also get pressured one way or the other to meet the needs of other people. But we want a station wherein we can have individual aspiration. As an individual, you get a good job, you get a good pay, you can take care of yourself, take care of your family, and you will not bother anybody.
Exactly.
All right? So let's have our studio line on 08077770300. Your name and where you're calling from. Please be brief because others are waiting. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Hello, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Benjamin.
Okay, Mr. Ben, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Melbourne here, from Upper Mission Side.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm wondering, I don't know whether we are causing this country. No, are these people really educated? Now, those days, there are many people, those days, farmers, they are the ones that created those rules. We see now. How come that what we have is not sent to another country before they do refine and we are buying it back again? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know what is going on in this country. Who must have done this to us? I don't know what is wrong. Now, 2024 this year, who is the next person? Who are we bringing out? Are we audits? And we are still, this one is thief, this one is thief. Who is the real thief? Who is stealing our money?
Oh, look for the lesser thief. Anyway.
We swallow money.
Anyway, that's the much time we have on the program today. Thank you. I want to say big thanks to all our callers and all our viewers and listeners across the country and across the world for taking time to be part of the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. As we move towards 2024, Edu 2024, don't forget that the onus is on all of us to get the best out of the best that will take over the next mantle of leadership to lead Edo State in a path of peace, progress, and prosperity. That's what we all desire. I want to say big thanks to our panelists here. Comrade Engineer Mike Oshobuge, thank you for coming on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Bishop Osadoloche, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Reverend
me.
David Okolo, thank you for coming. Thank you. Now you can extend my handshake to the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
That's our package for today and for this week. Be sure to join us next week, Saturday. We have another exciting installment on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.